Very important topic because at least many of us have learned from our lives that while it is good to be knowledgeable about the subject and the work that you do, the foundation of everything in life is your character. If you don't have the qualities of character, you can in fact be a danger to society with the knowledge that you have. As you can see around the world today, there are many intelligent and qualified people, but what they do is destroy those around them by their greed and lack of character. So this, I would say, is one of the most important sessions we are going to have, how to cultivate good habits. Because as the Buddha had said, when you have good habits and you keep using the good habits, it becomes part of your character. And a character will define your destiny later. So but there are very few people who would be better qualified to speak about this than our friend Sudipta Bhuya. Sudipta is a great person in the sense that he's always a very honest, straightforward person. His honesty and integrity has never been doubted by us all through our childhood. Like me, he studied in St. Edmunds from class 1. So we were classmates together from class 1 all the way to class 12. So we've been together. Leslie came in later, and he has been a very bright student. I know we studied together. He's been a merit holder in school in class 12. In school, we didn't have the system of ICSE, but he did very well. Then he went on to do his BSc in mathematics from Xavier's College, Kolkata, and later he did an MA in philosophy from Calcutta University. He's also a very spiritual and devout person, very much involved with Hare Krishna and has devoted his life to the Lord. He has been engaged in educational activities from 2003, having taught in schools since then. But recently he told me that he has taken an early retirement. Why? Because he wants to devote himself more to self-study and spiritual activities. However, he continues to teach part-time mathematics to class 11 and 12 students. He's bright, but we are not going to talk about mathematics here. We're not going to talk about any specific subject of professional knowledge. We are going to talk about, or rather, he's going to talk about what is and how to cultivate good habits. And of course, your interaction is critical, as we say, because what he says is not necessarily something you need to agree with. You have to have a mind of your own. So please come forward, ask him questions, make comments, disagree with him. It is only then that he will find satisfaction. Because we know for sure, Sudipta, who we call Papu, his nickname, is very excited about this session. So he will
Yes.
only find it even more exciting if you are active and not passive. So since we all know you're bright boys and girls, we expect you to become more and more active here. However, in Indian tradition, I now live in the West where respect is shown in different ways than from India. But I'm still very Indian and hard. And I just cannot, no matter what the objections are, continue with this without introducing you to someone else. So he's not the speaker for now. He will be a speaker, God willing, in the near future. But he is our guru. You know what guru is, right? He's our guru. The gentleman that you can see. Sir, if you could kindly raise your hand. I don't know if all can see you digitally. So, and you see he's giving the perfect posture of a blessing. And that's what we want. So he's our guru. He is brother Len Norona. He is from the Christian Brothers of Ireland group, and he was our teacher in school. And he was also our teacher specifically in class 9, where he taught us mathematics and English and also how to interact with people and win friends. It is very difficult without having experience with him to communicate to you what an experience it was working with him and studying under him. In one word, if I have to use to describe him, he's simply brilliant. And not brilliant in the sense of just scoring marks, which he did. He was a super genius, but brilliant in the unique ways he did things. He was so innovative about everything and a perfectionist in everything, whether it was his handwriting or the way he taught us to make fair notes, which I never heard of ever again or before, and the way he shot of pi to, I don't know, 50 digits before coming in, anything and everything. Even the way he hit us on our bums with the stick on those days, I think was a little different. So, Brother Norona was someone who actually molded the character of if not all, most of us in our class. And we asked him, Leah principal asked him to come in and observe how these sessions take place, because hopefully he will come in and speak, and also because he's very fond of Sudipta and Leslie and me and others. So he wanted to see how this thing is going on, because it is his passion also to help children grow and become people that are worthy of being in society. So may I request all of you to please give a round of applause to Brother Norona, who in spite of his busy schedule and, after being retired has come in. So all of you, can you please give him a round of applause? Thank you, sir. And now you're welcome to remain in any way that you deem fit. I will hand over the floor to Sudipta to start the session.
Yes, thank you. Let me begin with some divine blessings. Om Agyana Timirandhasya Gyana Anjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So I want to begin by saying that I feel very humble, very honored in the presence of Brother Narona. He was my teacher when I was in class 9, class 10, and not just a teacher, someone very, very dear, as you have heard from Pritam. And I actually, I'm inspired to dedicate this session to him, to his honor. And I'm also very happy that in this session, I have my old school friends, Leslie, Pritam, Devraj, Diganta, and Chinmoy will drop in at some time. He requested me for the link. I'm not sure if he's here already.
Chinmoy also.
Who did I miss out someone?
Chinmoy.
Chinmoy is here. Chinmoy. Chinmoy. He's just. Chinmoy, yeah. Hello Chinmoy. Can you hear us? Okay, we just. Yes, okay.
Yes. Chinmoy,
you're there? I can see his name.
Devraj.
Yeah. Chinmoy. Yeah, Chinmoy, long life. We just mentioned your name. So happy to see your brother Norona and all my buddies from St. Edmunds. Okay, I feel completely at home. And my respects to all the teachers of Loyola School. I would be happy to, since they have put a capital T. We have Asifur sir, Mustafa sir, Vijayan sir, and who else? Prasurjia sir.
Can I help you out?
Yes, please. I'm looking for the capital T's.
Yeah, I will just tell you the names of the teachers.
Yeah.
Rajan, Kanaya, Vijayan, already mentioned, Nabanita, Binola, Dareen, Tarjina.
Tarjina, yes, I see.
Then,
Mumtaz.
Dipankar Paul. Jennifer Chetri.
Okay.
The son's name. And then, I think those are the teachers at the moment.
Yes. Me, myself also, sir. Hello.
Yeah, Rajan, I mentioned Rajan. You're the first.
Okay.
Rajan. Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's it. That's about it.
Please record.
Yeah, it is being recorded.
Leslie, please record. Most happy to that.
Yeah.
And last but not the least, all you dear children, dear students of Loyola School, you'll be surprised to hear that I have seen you before. This is not my first time, because I sneaked in the last Zoom meeting for a few minutes just to check out the scenario. I was present like a ghost. You didn't see me, but I saw you. So most of your faces are actually familiar to me. Okay, so let me begin with, yes, screen share. Thank you, Pritam. You allowed me to do the screen share. Okay, I've prepared some slides, and I sincerely hope that I have done justice to this session. Okay, so we have called it Cultivating Good Habits, a workshop for St. Ignatius Loyola High School, Nagaon, Nagaon is very dear to me. That's the place of my grandfather, Dr. Surya Kumar Bhuyan. And all right, so let us begin. Yes, so we know this famous story, Alice in Wonderland. Hello, was I on mute all along? Pritam?
Yeah, sir,
Pritam?
for just a minute it was muted. Now
What
it
was
is
the last thing I
audible,
said?
sir.
What was the last thing I
We didn't-
said?
We didn't hear, sir.
Okay, you heard all the thanks and dedications and all, that part you heard, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, let me begin. So, yeah, so Alice in Loyola Land. This is my set for our activity. See, what I want to concentrate on, see, there's so many. There are unlimited good habits. And if I ask you in the chat, I will get, each one of you will give us a wonderful suggestion, I know, based on a previous occasion when I conducted this workshop. Okay, based on that, I have selected this habit of writing something daily, a paragraph, a page, or whatever. Writing by hand or typing on a Word document. Okay, so now let us begin with this activity together. Alice, our friend Alice, she wants to form the powerful habit of writing daily. Certainly that's a good habit. And maybe later when she grows up, she wants to become an author. Becoming an author is a very, very, very noble pursuit. Okay, now let us, we teachers and students of Loyola, can we suggest some baby steps or tiny habits which Alice can very easily cultivate to achieve her desired result? By now this, see, rest of this workshop for an hour or so, I will be concentrating on baby steps. So this is because something that is very easy and doable. It is not something up in the clouds. When we speak about habits, something like, go to the gym every day, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. Or we have this famous thing called New Year's resolution. New Year's resolution, they start on 1st January and they collapse by 4th or 5th of January. So we are not talking about those kind of habits, but I want to be, very practical, something that can be done as easy as even 15 seconds, even 30 seconds on a daily basis, and easy to do. Okay, so now as I wrote, and here is actually I put a link. Okay, now I'll not actually click on this link. 365 creating writing prompts, ideas about what one can write. So I've stopped sharing for just a minute. Don't want to spend too much time. In your chat box, please, especially the children, I would be very happy if you could kindly give some baby steps, some tiny habit suggestions, how this Alice can establish the habit of daily writing. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Brother. Yes, Brother Narona. Thank you so much. And we will keep meeting over the phone and through other medium, and you'll be leaving shortly. Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Brother Narona, before leaving, maybe a few words, farewell words.
Okay.
Sir.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. For all of you listening, students, teachers, and everybody, I'm so glad that I was introduced as the teacher of, I think, 5 of the people present today. And it was a great honor to be introduced as such. But I need to remind you that that happened 40 years ago. Today, I am not their teacher. 40 years have elapsed. They continue to respect me. That's fine. Right now, I'm here to learn as well as to interact. And I would expect all of you eventually to learn that. One day, we teachers expect you to rise above the level that we've been teaching you. And if you are teaching us one day, we will be so thrilled. Thank you for the opportunity. God bless. Namaste.
Namaste, sir. Namaste. Thank you so much. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let us get back to this small activity at hand. In order to say, let me be more specific. Let me be more, I hope I am on, yeah, I'm on mute. Let me be more specific. Say, our Alice, she wants to, every day, she wants to write something about, okay, I will take it forward. I remember I dropped in your last Zoom meeting, and the madam that was speaking on a very relevant topic, wonderful topic. I was there for about 10-15 minutes about relationship. Okay, let me take it from that point. Okay, now Alice wants to, on a daily basis, write something on this topic, on this theme of relationship. It's a very broad topic. It's an extremely broad topic. Now, some tiny habits she can cultivate, even to get it started. Devraj, thank you. Write 5 new words. Write 5 new words. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, we got it. Devraj, you are our thing. What do you call the lead? Set the trend setter. Thanks a lot. Now, yeah, Jash Kothari, practice regularly and make a proper routine. Okay, even if nothing else, it is now 11 a.m. In 11 a.m., I will write 5 new words. Okay. Asifur sir has written, start reading good books and journals to learn grammatical styles and learn new words and how to use them correctly. Excellent. Before writing, first the input must be there. So as a what you call as a holistic activity, Alice may decide every day I will read 1 paragraph. I will read 1 paragraph from some nice book, and based on that paragraph, I will say write a 1 or 2 sentence summary. Yes. And then Abhirup Bhattacharya, make new friends. Excellent. And write about your day in a diary. Yes. Yes. At least begin, at least think about the person I'm going to write about. We can begin the tiny habit of writing the name of the person. Say today I want to become friends with Abhirup. So in my notebook out here, I will write the name Abhirup. I am friends with Abhirup. Okay. All right, let's do 1 more. 1 or 2 more, and then we move on. Okay. Devraj again. I will notice something new in my neighborhood and write a few lines about what I notice. My observation about something in the neighborhood. Excellent suggestion. Mustafa sir, whatever comes to mind, pen it down. Exactly, like brainstorming. Whatever comes to mind. I am hungry. I want to eat pani puri. Something like that. We have Bimola Nath. Write short note on what you see in your environment. True. Whatever enters through your eyes. Some bird you saw, some thela wala, some ice cream wala, some somebody riding in a motorcycle. Just write down 1 or 2 sentences. Asifur sir has one old forgotten thing I had in my school days. Pen pals. Wow, this is a lost art. Pen pals. True. Okay. Then Shrishti Pritam has already told us. Shrishti is a has been having 100% enthusiastic attendance in our TED Talks. Okay, try to note every important incident that occurs each day in daily life. Very, very good suggestion. Something that is significant to me. I can maintain a daily journal. Okay, so all right, that was great suggestions. And this was like starters. You know, when we go to eat a big meal. One second. Yeah. Yes. And great. So I'm very happy. We are off to a good start. Okay, let me continue. Quickly, let me go through this. We will highlight, there are three characteristics of habit. We're talking about cultivating good habits. We have to be clear, you know, especially when we are communicating, our ideas are in sync. This is, you know, actually, if you go to Google, you know, there are thousands and thousands of websites and pages on habit, forming habit, what are habits. I summarized some of the main thoughts. So, okay, what I would like to do is, one of you students, any one of you students, please, you please unmute and read this paragraph. This paragraph that I am circling.
You have to share. Sudipta.
What do I have to do?
You have to share. We don't see what you are talking about.
It's not on share?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
Because you are unshared, remember?
I'm sorry. Share. It says you cannot start screen share while other participants.
So someone else student have shared a whiteboard.
Oh, okay. Please.
No, let me do something.
Yeah. Please allow me to share.
No, there's no one else sharing, so I don't understand.
Okay.
Is someone
I'll try
shared the
again.
whiteboard?
I'll try again. Yes, I'm in. I'm in. Yeah. Okay, can you see this? I thought I wasn't sharing.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Any one of you unmute? One of you students, please.
Sir, can I?
Yeah, sure. Abhirup.
Thank you,
Most
Abhirup.
welcome.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Habits,
Yeah.
characteristics of habit. Habits
Yes.
are rituals and behaviors that we perform automatically, allowing us to carry out essential activities such as taking a shower, getting dressed for work, and following the same routes every day without thinking about them. Our unconscious habits free up resources for our brains to carry out other more complex tasks like solving problems.
Okay, that's it. Thank you, Abhirup. Excellent.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So keep in mind, these habits are something that are spontaneous. Automatically, we are not conscious of them. You know, activities like taking shower, dress, putting on my tie, tying my shoelaces, bicycling to school. You know, you can give countless examples of habits. But habits, they play a crucial role in our survival. In our very survival, they play a crucial role. They help us to carry out other more complex tasks that require more, you know, of our cognition, of our cognitive faculties. So some routine things must go on mechanically so that the space, the space in our cognition is freed up for them. Okay. Now, there are three situations, just to what you call, you know, make it more concrete, what these habits are. In every class, Ayesha takes neat and well organized notes. Certainly that's a habit. She does it it's become a mechanical routine with her. Certainly this is a habit with her. This is a sure example, a sure clear. I don't think anybody will doubt this. Now, next one, situation B. In the maths exam, Bob completed the paper well before time. Okay, it was a 2-hour long paper. He completed it in 1.5 hours. Now, is this a habit or is this like a one-time occurrence? Now, I would say this is a little bit on the border case. Bob, supposing he is an outstanding, brilliant student, and no matter what the exam is, he always submits his paper or completes his answer script, the answers all the question well before time, then it's a habit. But if it so happened that today in the maths exam, say from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock, Bob was particularly well read and he was in very good form, and normally he does not complete his paper in time, but today he did it. So it could be a habit or it could be a, an occasional. It is not clear till we know more. But about Ayesha, it is clear. In every class, it says, in every class, she takes neat and well organized notes, and this helps her to concentrate more on understanding the subject matter and in what you call asking questions and maybe helping her friends. Okay, what about the last one? What about the last one? Is it a habit? Is it a habit? Can any one of you unmute? Any one of you unmute, and if you can kindly tell me, does this situation C, Chandra is deciding whether he will join cricket or basketball coaching. Would you call this as a habit? Anyone? Unmute, please. If
I think yes.
He is okay. Now Chandra is deciding. Okay, he has not yet enrolled. He is actually weighing the pros and cons. Okay. Now see this actually. Okay, let me correct it. This actually is not a habit. It's not a habit because see here you see in red, to carry out more complex tasks. Habit frees us. So making a decision, checking out the timings, checking out who the coach, and maybe the fees involved and other factors. It's not a habit. It's actually a complex cognitive activities happening in the brain. Okay, you get the scenario. Remember, something that is done automatically without thinking and helps us to carry out more complex tasks. For example, what Chandra is doing right now. All right, we move on to the next slide. Okay. Mustafa, you raised hand. You want to ask something? You want to clarify something?
Mustafa, please unmute yourself and then mute yourself again.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Clearly, Mustafa.
Okay. Yeah. That last point you said that it is not habit, right? Because okay, fine. But if this things repeats, like he's taking decision in some small matters, he always thought whether I have to go or not. If means this continues for a long time in other aspects also, then it can be a habit.
Okay. All right. I'll put it this way. Some of his thinking patterns. Supposing. Yeah, supposing Chandra, very good one observation. I'm feeling thrilled. I'm speaking to such bright group. Yes, supposing he has this, his plan for making decision always is he makes 2 columns, pros and cons. He weighs, and that is a habit. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, correct. In that sense, that it would be a habit. Very true. Okay, and now we come to we'll spend half a minute on this. When we are talking about habits, of course, cultivating good habits, but as you know, no human is perfect. We have good habits, excellent. We also unfortunately have bad habits, too bad, and it is just a matter of percentage. It is just a matter of percentage. How much percentage good habits? How much percentage bad habits? And somewhere in between. So bad habits, of course. And by the way, let me read this. I'm talking about this Alice becoming a writer, and we are going to focus a little on this habit of writing daily. This person, Ziglar, is a very well-established writer. He writes books on self-help, motivation, etc. Excellent books. Ziglar, a musical sounding name. So he has written something very interesting. All bad habits start slowly and gradually, and before you know, you have the habit, and then the habit has you. And see, what happens is a bad habit, I become helpless, I become a slave. It is as though some spell is cast upon me by some external evil force. Some external evil force has forced me to to perform this bad habit against my good will, against my good conscience. And bad habits, they may give me some immediate pleasure. It may be giving me some pleasure to my senses, to my body. But eventually, they destroy my good life, and they destroy my freedom. They destroy my freedom. Some people may, take on the decision, I don't believe in all these rules and regulations and all this. I want to be a free person. And unfortunately, takes some wrong decisions, establishes some bad habits, and instead of becoming free, one becomes simply chained up. Like he says, the habit has chained me up. And one thing, let me tell you, you all are most fortunate, because I believe you belong to the classes of class 8, class 9, class 10. That means you're in the age category of, say, 13, 14, 15, 16. In your teenage, this is when the plant is tender. When the plant is tender, it can be shaped. We can make it grow towards the sunlight or in some direction. And once one becomes a mighty oak tree, there is no way we can change. I have my contemporaries, Leslie, Pritam, Diganta, Chinmoy, Devraj. We can all testify. Some habits that have, enslaved us, no matter how we try to shake it up, it kind of, it remains like a shadow. Okay. Now, let me see this. Okay, all right, before coming on to the next slide, let me tell you. Okay, I'll come to this later. Okay, let me now. Okay, because I'm focusing on this habit of power of writing. There are you can find so many reasons how wonderful this thing about writing on a daily basis. Okay, so what I want to now introduce is this. I have already told you about, I'm focusing on this habit of being a writer daily. And I also, if you remember in the beginning, in this activity with Alice, we are also going to focus on mini habits, micro activities, tiny habits, molecular, one molecule at a time, easy to perform on a daily basis. Okay, but first it begins with kind of taking on this like an identity. Something keeps. Okay, I want to be an author, or I want to believe that I am an author. Kind of I make it part of my being, an important, a significant part of my being. I want to be an author. Now, in the future, whenever the opportunity strikes. Okay, and in order to become an author, you know this saying, Rome wasn't built in one day, right? Brick by brick, stone by stone, avenue by avenue, building by building, and one fine, after how many ever years it took, the city called Rome came about, but it started with a brick. So that is the meaning of a mini activity. Okay, now, yeah. Okay, before this, let me tell you a story. How crucial it is. Okay, let me stop share. Okay, how crucial it is to our very survival, having some good habits. It is not just something just helping me to build a career, a character, a good character. Of course, it is that, but even for my very survival, I need a good habit. So once upon a time, I believe this is a true story. I've never verified, but I take it. Somebody, I think in Facebook or WhatsApp, had sent me long time back, but it struck me. I thought it is relevant to today's talk. Okay, so this is an incident that happened in Canada. Canada, as you know, okay. there was one person, name say, let's give him the name John. John was working in a big factory, and he was an engineer, a technician in the cold storage. There was a big room, a big storeroom, and this John was in the yeah, John was in the cold storage room. Okay, and his working hours were from say 10 to 6 every day, from 10 to 6, and 6 o'clock in the evening he'll come out of his cold storage room. He'll go to the change room, take off his engineering overalls, put on his casual dress, and walk out. Now, as he's walking out of the factory, at the gate every day there is a watchman, a security in charge named Jack. So on his way out, John will always greet him. He had this habit, immaculate, precise habit. Hi, Jack. Hi, Jack. I hope you have a great evening. See you tomorrow. Give my love to Mary. Hi, Jack. Give my love to Mary. Have a nice evening. See you tomorrow. Without fail, he had this habit. Okay. Now, this John, he works from Monday through Friday. Now, one Friday evening, late afternoon, say around 5 o'clock, some fault appeared in some of this cold freezer. He's inside this room, in a cold freezing room with for cold storage. And one of the machines gave some trouble. And John, he got down to fixing. He was fixing it somewhere at the back, somewhere in some corner. One small machine was giving trouble. And John was fixing, and what happened? He forgot the time, and nobody noticed. The foreman, he came and closed the door from outside at 6 o'clock, say 5 past 6 or 10 past 6. He slammed the door, locked it from outside. Okay, and John was inside, he's stuck. And John went on working for another 10 minutes, and he fixed the machine, say around 6:20 or so. He comes to the front, and lo and behold, the gate is closed. The main door is closed. He's inside. And this is having a thick wall. I don't know, maybe about 12 inches, 15 inches thick. This is a cold storage room. The wall has to be thick. And nobody can hear him shouting and screaming. He doesn't have a cell phone. It won't work, no signal inside that. And now John thought, this door will be open next and Monday morning before 10 a.m. And today is Friday. No chance. It's just a matter of hours. Whether it is 6 hours or 8 hours or 10 hours or 12 hours, that's it. That ends. Bye. Bye to my wife. Bye to my parents. Bye to my children. Monday morning, Monday will be my cremation. My burial. My burial will take place on Monday. That's what he was resigned to that. Now, lo and behold, after 20 minutes, the door was opened. The foreman and Jack, they had opened the door. Okay, now I leave it to you. To complete the story. How did this happen? How did this miracle happen? You tell me. One of you bright students, come online, come live, and you tell me what exactly happened. How, supposing the activity is complete this story. What happened? How do you think the conclusion would be? Any one of you?
Didi, do you want to do the story?
One children. Better if one children.
Yeah,
Sir.
I'm asking Didi to do it.
Huh? What do I have to do?
Didi will do the story.
That unmute.
Yeah, Didi, unmute yourself.
They can unmute themselves, or do I have to do something?
No, they can unmute themselves.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
So do I have to tell the reasons how?
Yes. Yeah. That would be great. And who's
Because
speaking? Wait, once a second. Who's speaking? It's not showing out here.
It's Bidhi Das.
Okay. Birita. Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead. Speak.
Because
BD. Yes.
because John always greeted Jack and Jack remembered it.
That he has not greeted gently.
Correct. And then continue. Next sentence. BD.
And then
BD
he
does?
asked someone for help and went to the cold storage and opened the door.
Exactly. Today on Friday. See, every day he gets a greeting from John. Today he missed out. Correct? He missed out. What happened? And he knows, and he knows in the morning John did clock in. John clocked in the morning. And now time for him, time of exiting, he was not there. Thank you, Vidi. Yeah. Thanks for Pritam for the encouragement to Vidi. Yeah, great.
Thank you.
Yeah,
sir.
excellent. Okay. So see, you can see how, okay, you can see how a simple habit, a simple, polite, kind habit of greeting a colleague, a fellow security guard saved the life of John. So you never know how this, it says actually, it is not something we are making it up. The universe has a cyclic reciprocation. You do good, you be a good person, you do good, and you get reciprocation. When the time is right, something aligns and reciprocates with your good activity. Okay, back to share screen. Thank you. Here I am. Yeah. Okay. Now we come down. Yeah, I'm in share. Okay. How to? This is coming from the psychologist. There are specifically in Stanford University, there is one psychologist, B.J. Fogg. There is another psychologist, I'm not sure which university is associated with, James Clear. They have written books. B.J. Fogg, he has written a book on tiny habits. James Clear has written a book called Atomic Habits. Excellent reading. These are, I recommend to you. And okay, here we are, how to form new habits using proven science. The 3 R's of habit change. I believe it is clear to you. What's there on the screen? One of you, if it is clear, can you simply tell me it's clear? So that will be.
Yes, sir, it is clear.
Thank you. Okay. Now, the first step number 1, it is just a repeat pattern. It keeps repeating. Okay. It starts with what is called a reminder, a trigger, or a cue. C-U-E, cue. Okay. I'll come back to it. I'll give you a practical example. Okay. There is a cue. The cue initiates a certain behavior. From this initial behavior, we actually perform the actual behavior, the routine. The routine sets in. We actually perform it. A trigger happens, then we perform it. Then comes the third stage called reward. The benefit, the reward comes in. Now, as you know, there is, if something has a feel-good factor, of course you would like to repeat. You know, you have one, I don't remember, there is one particular potato chips. I've seen the advertisement. I'll ask you to unmute and tell me. Anyone, teacher, student, anyone. I'll ask you to unmute and tell me. The tagline is, try stopping at 1. This is potato chips. Potato chips ad. Try stopping at 1. One of you unmute. Do you remember which one it is? Which particular brand?
No, sir.
I don't know.
It says nobody can stop at 1.
No, but okay. Devraj, yeah, go ahead. Which one is that?
No, I know what it is. I'm saying the tagline is nobody can stop at 1.
Nobody can stop at 1. Okay. One of the brands.
Ranbir Kapoor is in the ad.
Oh, okay.
Sir,
Great.
Lays.
Lays, is it? Okay. Okay, the tag, we got the correct tagline. We got Ranbir Kapoor and we got the Lay's company. Okay, so that's actually a habit. That's actually a habit.
Right.
You get a reward and you continue. Okay, if the reward is positive, you'll want to perform the behavior again. All right. Now let me come to see this BJ Fogg. He gives a one. I actually took a course. I actually took a course on by email by this BJ Fogg of Stanford University. Brilliant fellow he is. And he very practical. It is very practical fellow he was. He said he was not talking some hi-fi big things, you know. He was telling that the habit you want to establish, you kindly connect it to a well-established habit. A well-established habit. Okay, so let me give you an example. Supposing I want to establish the habit of doing some physical exercise. Say I'm a lazy fellow. I don't do so much physical activity. Say I'm one of that. Okay, but I realize this is not good. I better to do. Now I take this advice from here. Every day I have a mechanical habit of brushing my teeth. I get up, I brush my teeth. Now, anyway, I'm going to brush my teeth. I like it or not, I'm going to brush my teeth. Now, I will use that as a trigger, as a reminder, as a cue, brushing my teeth. Immediately after brushing my teeth, I will do 3 sit-ups. I will do 3 sit-ups. Down, up, down, up, down, up. How long does it take to do 3 sit-ups? Maybe 10 seconds. But what I'm doing is I'm programming myself. This is we are going to do an activity called visualization. We're going to do an activity. It's a very powerful word. Programming the self. And then it becomes a routine. Then after a few days, whether I brush my teeth or not, it becomes set. It becomes set to me. I will do, and Y3, I will increase it. And the reward part is interesting. It could be nothing else but what you call a clap on my back. I can just clap myself on a back and say, good boy, good boy Sudipto, good boy Devraj, good boy Diganta, good boy Leslie, good boy Pritam, good boy Chinmoy. You know, just pat myself on the back. You know, you're doing good. And the sense of achievement, the sense of achievement itself is the reward. It's that I'm being able to stick to this on a daily basis. Okay, and then after the next one, I will open it up for a minute or two for questions. Let me go. This one and the next one. Okay, we are still in the same topic of forming a habit. Remember the 3 R's. Remember, routine, reward. Remember, routine, reward. Remember, routine, reward. And keep the affirmation. The affirmation that I have. I want to be physically fit. I want to be a writer. I want to be a kind person. Whatever that affirmation. Okay, now talking about affirmations. All right. Now the previous slide, it came from BJ Fogg. I'm telling you the authority, the science authority, the psychologist from whom I'm getting it from. This one is coming from this James Clear, who wrote a well-known book called Atomic Habit. I've just summarized some of the main things from there. Okay, now there are 3 elements in habit formation: outcome, process, and identity. Outcome, process, and identity. Okay, now what our psychologists, what they say is start. This is the right approach. You can see it in front of your eyes. Changing first, you change changing the identity. Then you go to the practical processes. Then the outcome will come as a natural consequence. It has to happen. But first, what he is telling is, you from your very inner core, I am a daily writer, or I am potentially a daily writer, or I believe I believe I can write nicely daily. I start working, identifying myself. That identity is a very important word. Identity is a very, very crucial word. The way what I identify, the rest, it is like a NASA sending a rocket out in space. The very angle it releases the rocket is the identity. You release it at 30 degree, after some time it will reach Mars. You release it at 31 degree, it will not reach Mars. After some light years or something, it will reach some other galaxy or whatever. I'm just giving you. Identity is the starting. And then we have the processes. And the processes I'm talking about are tiny micro molecular atomic habits, which can be done in few seconds, like 3 sit-ups, like writing 5 new words, by writing 1 sentence of what I am seeing outside my window. Right now, outside my window, I'm seeing some trees and a tall building and 3 birds are flying in the sky, like that kind. And then anything you do, surely the outcome will come. The outcome is the reward, is the repetition out there. Start with the identity, and how to get into that identity. I'm going to do a practical activity shortly. Okay, a few more things. Decide the type of person you believe you would, or believe to be, you would want to be. Prove yourself with small, tiny micro wins. I'm again coming to this. Big talk later, small activities. And what is the example of the stone cutter? I'll tell you. The stone cutter has a big, something, he has a big slab of stone, and using a hammer and chisel, talk, he keeps beating, okay? And it seems nothing is happening. But after, depending on the size of the stone, whether some minutes or hours or maybe some days, one final moment, one last shot, boom, and the stone cracks up. Now a foolish observer will say, what was the use of those multiple shots? The last one was the most important. But no, it's all adding up. The little things are all adding up, right? In this respect, let me tell you an example from football about the small micro habits. Example from soccer. This was 1970 World Cup football finals between Brazil and Italy. And it was Pele, the greatest footballer. Okay, Messi. Okay, let's not debate on this. Pele or Ronaldo or Messi or whoever. Okay, but certainly one of the greatest is Pele. And our Pele was in the team. And of course, Brazil won that match by 4-1. And the last goal was scored by the skipper of the Brazilian team named Carlos. Carlos was the skipper. And see, it was considered one of the greatest goals in the century. But if you see the last moment, the goalkeeper was somewhere else, and he simply pushed the ball inside the goal. And nobody will say this was the greatest goal. But actually, what happened, all the team members practically, starting from the goalkeeper of the Brazilian team, started a small pass to A passed it to B passed it to C passed it to D dribbled around, passed it to E. And it was a brilliant moves of passes, little micro passes, micro activities, micro habits. Finally, it came to front of the goal with Carlos, and Carlos pushed the ball in, and it was a goal. So this is the habit. This is, the power of small habits. It's a team activity. And finally, it manifests into something big, like winning the entire World Cup. Okay, and this is, of course, a well-known saying. You finally get what you repeat in. Okay? And lastly, the effects of small habits compound over time. For example, if you can just get just 1% better each day, you will end up with results that are nearly 37 times better after 1 year. This is this. Okay, let me ask you. How many of you here? Okay, how many of you here? You can put it on chat. You can put it on chat. Know about compound interest. You can put it on chat. How many of you know about compound interest? Just simply put CI on the chat. You can just put CI, compound interest. Compound interest. Surely.
Class 10
Okay.
should know about compound interest.
Compound interest. You can put on the chat.
It's on the newspapers today. The government has see which is mentioned in the newspapers today, and it has to do with compound interest.
Oh, okay. And students know about compound interest? Hello. Hello, everybody.
Priyanka, do
Good
you know
morning
about
there.
compound interest?
The voice is breaking, Leslie.
Maybe they're not fully aware of it. Simple.
Okay. Never mind. Compound. Never mind.
Complex.
Never mind. Okay. Never mind. Okay. Never mind. Okay. This is called the power of compounding. Never mind. Leslie,
Yeah.
maybe sometime in the future, a little maths class, maybe you could engage me in.
Yeah, you can take one. Yes, definitely.
Yes. On any topic, something.
Yeah.
Later on. Well, okay. As a bonus. As a bonus to today's session. Okay. Now, anyway, okay. Aviru, CI is a type of interest in which after every year the interest is increased. Exactly, increase the power of compounding. Avirup knows. Yes, power of compounding. You do little every day. Every day. Just like, let me give you a small example. 100 rupees. 100 rupees at 10% per day. 10%. Tomorrow, 100 rupees, 10% means 10 rupees. It will become 110 rupees. 110 rupees. Now, 10% of 110 rupees is not 10 rupees. It is 11 rupees. You understand? Every day, it is actually becoming more and more, not just simple 10 rupees every day. It's 11 rupees and so on and so forth. And 121 rupees and so on and so forth. Okay, simply I'm trying to. So this is the power of compounding. This is how it is entering my brain. This is how it's entering my brain out there in compounding all this. Okay, now before I proceed, right, yeah. Okay, now next I'm going to do an activity with you. But before that, if there are any questions so far, anything you want to ask or you want to say something specifically from the students and the teachers of Loyola High School, Nagaon, good old Nagaon.
Sir, I would like to say something.
Yes.
Sir, today's topic was cultivation of good habits. So as far as I know,
Srishti,
yes,
yeah,
sir.
tell me. Yeah,
Yes,
tell me.
sir.
Yeah.
So today's topic was cultivation of good habits. So as far as I know about good habits, and my parents, ever since I was a kid, they told me that adopting a good habit was not easy at all, but adopting a bad habit was easy. Such as a student, I see in my school, majority of the students speaks English, but there are out of 100, there will be like 10 or 11 students who still now they don't speak in English, and they can try speaking in broken English, but they prefer using the bad habit, which is they speak in their native language. But instead of that, they would pay the 10 or 20 bucks as fine, but they don't prefer using broken English, making a tiny habit to learn English. So I think adopting a bad habit is very easy. Adopting a good one.
You're right. Bad habit. Bad habit, as I said, it kind of gives you an immediate sense of some kind of a pleasure. Some kind of a pleasure comes, an immediate sense of pleasure.
Yes.
It kind of makes me lose what you call the long-term focus of the long-term benefit. So yes, very true. Thanks. That was a great.
Just an intervention here.
Yeah, sure.
If you don't mind.
I hope.
I'm not sure I take the same perspective, Drishti. And remember, differing with someone doesn't mean you're arguing. It's just to add richness to the discussion.
Yes.
Please bear with me. I don't think it's really a question of bad habit or good habit, because remember, bad and good are also defined by society. I now live in Norway. I've traveled the world. Many things which are good in India are considered bad outside, and many things which are bad outside are considered, good outside are considered bad in India. Okay, I won't go into specific examples, but I have many, many very clear examples. Some things that people do in Norway would be considered very bad habits in India, but is perfectly acceptable here. So I don't think it's a question of bad and good. It's as Sudipta says, it's the question of the reward you get. The more you are rewarded for a habit, irrespective of whether you call good or bad, the more you develop that as a spontaneous response. That's all. So even if for a good habit, so-called good habit, you get a lot of positive responses, but not for the so-called negative habit, it will become easier for you to develop the positive habit. So I don't think it is like that. And secondly, let us be very careful about saying it's a bad habit to speak in your native language. This is something we should be very particular about being Indians. I think I have a strong view on this matter. Yes, in your school, you're asked to speak English. Do you know what the reason is? Because you all come from different linguistic backgrounds. And if all of you start speaking in your native language, you'll divide into linguistic groups. Bengalis with Bengalis, Assamese with Malayalis, Malayalis, and that is not good for group interaction. But to learn your native language is, I think, an excellent habit. You may not do it in school. It's a very good habit and something that I really feel bad that I'm not as good in Assamese as I'm in English. So this is beside the point, but I think we should not get into our heads that it is a good habit to learn English, which is not really our language, as against learning a native language. But the main point I'm making is good or bad habit is not easier or more difficult. It's a question of what kind of reward you get for it. That's what I think, Sujipta. You're welcome to differ with me.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Can I say something, a practical perhaps example from my own habit?
Devraj, one second. You need to be closer to your mic. You're sounding faint.
Yeah, can you hear me now? Because
very faint. Your headset is not connected. Your Bluetooth is not connected to your device.
Okay.
Just.
Can you hear me now?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe you get rid of that headset and just put your mouth
now
near your microphone.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes. That's clearer.
Yeah. So, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I'm hello. Yeah. So, just to reinforce what you were talking about, you talked about a few psychologists. You're getting an echo.
Go ahead, Devraj.
So, yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So the point I'm making is this reinforcing certain habits if we inculcate in our life cycle, they become reinforcing and they also become facilitatory and they are also incremental. By incremental, what my friend Victor was just mentioning, if you start with small easy tasks, then they accumulate and they compound and they help you achieve difficult tasks. I will state this with a very simple example relevant to me. I'm sure it is relevant to a lot of you because you are students. We often don't want to begin studying. We have to do homework, we have to prepare for an exam, we want to learn something, but something within us stops us from starting to work because for some reason our mind is not tuned to doing some hard work on our desk. So this is what I used to do as a student, especially as a research student when you have to sit and study for long hours at a time. I would just start cleaning up my study table. Cleaning up the study table doesn't require any mental work, no intellectual work. It is physical activity. It is something that you can start at the drop of a hat. It is not something very challenging. It is still a task, but it is not very challenging. So I would start by organizing my study table. It would take half an hour. But in that half an hour, I would notice two things. One, that I have a clean place in which to study. Like when you do puja, you do ibadat, or you do some kind of worship, you want to do it in a clean place. So a clean place creates the environment for you to sit and do some meaningful work in that clean place. So I would clean the desk. Also the physical activity of doing these little small tasks of cleaning up, settling the book, settling the stationery, organizing my things on the table would also help in a way to organize my mind. Because my table is getting organized, because the physical environment is getting organized, it is also in a way helping me to organize thoughts in my mind. It is orienting my mind towards organized thinking. And learning, one small part of learning is to organize your thoughts, is to organize your material. So the mind actually gets attuned towards organizing something. So three things happen. A, you have a clean place. B, your mind gets organized. And three, what Sudipta told you about is that there is a reward. The reward is a clean table. Perhaps your mother walks by and says, oh, lovely, your table is looking nice. And these three things, in half an hour, you have transformed yourself from a not wanting to study situation towards wanting to really study situation, just through a simple activity. And then it becomes habit forming. It worked for me all the time, whenever I was lazy. Just wanted to share this insight, just in case it helps you with wanting to study whenever you don't want to study. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Devraj. Okay, now we heard something from a student. We heard nice words from Pritam and Devraj. One thing from anything from the teacher of any teacher from Loyola. Anything?
Yes, Asifur.
Asifur, yes.
Yes,
Asifur,
sir.
go ahead. He's a social studies teacher.
So good morning, sir. I just want in this session or towards the end, somewhere in the session, could you please tell us something about how to end a vicious cycle, a vicious circle?
Okay. Okay. How to end a vicious cycle. Yes, I'll come to that. I'll remember that. Yes. Okay, I'll give some tips. Okay, thank you. Okay, let us move on now. I want to, share. Okay, we have covered this point. Okay, now before we move on, I want to do this activity. Just a few minutes of that. Okay, quiz time. A quick quiz time. Right? A quiz time before we move on. Be proactive means what? A, take responsibility for your own life. B, think everyone can win. C, become an active pro athlete. And D, renew yourself regularly. Okay, I am waiting for the answer. You can unmute. Especially this is
Sir,
especially
all
for
of the above points.
all the above. You're saying any other?
Sir, renew yourself regularly.
Renew yourself regularly. Okay. Any 2 or 3 more answers?
Sir, take responsibility for your own life.
Okay. Very nice. 1 or 2 more answers from the students. 1 or 2 more answers. Like that. And some are coming in chat. Okay. Akspreet is telling D. Bimola is telling D. Pritam A. Zakir. Yeah. D. Sarjina D. Tanaya D. Devraj A. Okay. Let's close it now. Mahak D. Only thing is, now it's better. Because of the light. I hope Zareen, I got the names correct. Bimola, Zareen, Sarina, Tanaya, Devraj, Mahak, Kong Jyoti, D. Okay, nice. All right. Okay, let me tell you what the answer is. It's A. Take responsibility for your own life. This B, actually, I'll tell you. This is actually, there was another, talking about habits. There was one famous fellow, Stephen Covey. Stephen Covey wrote a book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It was very popular in the 90s. Now we don't hear it so much. In the 90s, it was a very popular, one of bestseller books. And he's talking about 7 habits. The first habit is be proactive. Be proactive. Take responsibility for your own life. Don't blame anyone. Don't, yourself. Just think everyone can win. This is actually win-win. You also win. I also win. Become an active pro athlete. This is just an instance of an habit. It is not what proactive actually means. And renew yourself regular means sharpening the saw. Sharpening the saw. I gave you the example of the stone cutter. After some time, if the stone cutter's chisel becomes blunt, then that will be ineffective. Apart from daily or constantly banging on the stone, the stone cutter also has to take time off to sharpen the chisel, or a wood cutter has to take time to sharpen the axe. Okay, so it is A. So congratulations to those who have replied A. Take responsibility for your own life. Taking responsibility for your own life is a key. One of the keys for cultivating good habit. Don't wait for something external. On your own, go ahead. Make a plan. You have to have a plan and work on that plan. Plan. If you don't, what is that saying? If you don't plan to overcome failure, then be prepared to, then plan to face the consequence. Something like that. Okay. Now regarding plan, Warren Buffett, one of the successful man with very good habits, actually. This Warren Buffett, he's a simple man, although one of the richest. He says, an idiot with a plan can beat a genius without a plan. Keep this phrase in mind. The power of plan. Just like I gave you the example of the Brazilian football team, the Brazilian football team always has an excellent strategy, a plan, a game plan. And they will customize their game plan according to their, their opponent. And they will study their opponent, and accordingly, they will customize their game. So similarly, I got to have a plan. If I don't have a plan, it's just simply going to be random. Okay. Now we are coming to this, what I was telling you about. Okay. Now, okay, sir. Yes. Our Atifur sir had, he had asked this about how to break this vicious cycle of bad habits like this. One way, see, we have a brilliant resource. We have our mind. See, we are so busy with the external world. From time we wake up to time we go to sleep, we are just dealing with the external world. But I have a very powerful inner world, a very, very powerful inner world. And this mind, the brain, the mind, these, okay, like I did, can one of you unmute and read this paragraph? Can one of you unmute and read this paragraph, please? Any one of you? Anyone who did not get an opportunity, has not spoken so far? One of you students, ideally.
What about a girl this time? Abhirup read next
Abhirup
time. What about a lady?
Yes.
Can I?
Yes.
Who is it showing here? It's not showing. Who is it?
Shrishti.
Shrishti. But Shrishti has said something. Don't mind. If there's someone else, Shrishti, you contributed very nicely.
Shavya, can you come forward? Shavya.
Shrishti, Abhirup, you have done great.
Shavya, read this few lines.
Kavya, okay.
Power of mind. Brain
Kavya,
studies,
yes. Go ahead.
brain
Power of mind.
studies reveal
Kavya.
that thoughts produce the same mental instructions as actions. Mental imagery impacts many cognitive processes in the brain: motor control, attention, perception, planning, and memory. So the brain is getting trained for actual performance during visualization. It's been found that mental practices can enhance motivation, increase confidence, improve motor performance, and prepare your brain for a new habit. I write every day with confidence and enthusiasm.
Thank you, Shavya. This is the affirmation. This is what I want to get into my system. The problem is of overcoming bad habit, and the problem of not cultivating new habit is it starts from inside. It is my lack of confidence. I have become so much like a slave. I've become helpless. I have come under the spell. Now I think that I cannot break. I cannot overcome the habit. Do you know the story of the elephant? When the elephant is a newborn elephant, a child, a baby elephant, then the mahout ties the elephant, the leg of the baby elephant with a chain to a pole in the ground. Okay. Now all life, the elephant is been, in his when he's not walking around, he's tied to this pole. He's tied to this pole. Now this elephant has become a monster, a big adult size elephant. But still, till today, his chain is stuck, is tied around his leg and that small pole, which is peanuts for this big elephant. But because of that lack of confidence, because of that conditioning from inside, oh, I can never become free from that pole. It's very interesting. It's been done. It's a study done by psychologists with elephants. Okay. So we are going now, understand this power of this mind. This mind needs to be what you call primed up, needs to be conditioned in a very favorable way. And this is an activity that is performed. This is called visualization. It is performed by top performing athletes. Okay, one second. Where did the, yeah, okay. Yeah, it is performed by top athletes. They do this activity of visualizing the event, the football match, the 100-meter sprint, and especially there is this one of the most famous Olympic swimmers. He has won 18 gold medals. Michael Phelps. You have heard his name, Michael Phelps. Michael Phelps is the most outstanding swimmer. When we were in school, it was Mark Spitz, but Michael Phelps over the year has outdone this Mark Spitz, and he uses this, and not only he, many our cricket players, and it's part of their training to do this activity called visualization. Okay, now I'm going to give you a small sample of this. You can try it on your own, or maybe in future I can help you also more with this. I have done this with my student on regular basis, and I have also, other psychologists have done it, and I have participated, and I really liked it. Okay, now I'm going to do this activity. I will give you some small instructions. You just follow. You just have to simply follow the instructions and see the benefit. You just have to just with an open mind, with a relaxed open mind, just follow the instructions and go through the steps. Go through the steps. I have it right here. This is called the power of creating mental imagery, the power of visualization. And for this, I need I've prepared a music for this. Yes. Let me put on the music. Let the music come on. I'll just adjust the volume. It should not be too loud. It should not be. It should just wait. I'm keeping the music at a low volume. It should not come in the way. Okay. Now, yeah, I think the music is in correct volume. Yeah, music is going to enhance us. Okay. You cannot hear the music?
You have to share the music.
No. If you cannot hear, is it?
No.
Okay. Okay.
Share the file, and when
okay. You're right. I have to share
on in the share screen.
Okay.
So just before you go, yeah, but
how about now?
That. No, we will not hear it.
Huh?
We will not hear it like this. Before you share, in the intermediate screen, you have to tick the box on the lower left says share sound.
Share sound.
Not now. You have to you have to stop sharing.
Okay, I stopped share. I did that.
Yeah. Now go to share. Just click on share.
Click on share. Okay.
And then look at the lower left of the screen. There's a checkbox called share sound.
There's
lower left of the screen.
Share computer sound. Yes.
Then now share the file. Yes. File.
Now. What's it
Yeah,
like?
it's coming.
It's coming?
Yeah. You can also hear
great.
it.
Huh?
You should be also able to hear it.
Yes, I'm hearing, and more important, you are hearing it?
Yes.
Volume is okay, Pritam?
That's good.
Good, huh? Not too
I'm
loud?
not able to hear properly.
Oh,
Because of maybe
see.
internet connectivity issue.
No, just wait. Wait, there is a delay. I can hear it now.
Debraj is good. Okay. I don't want the volume to be too loud.
No,
Okay.
don't make it louder.
No, that's it.
Now you're sharing
Okay.
something else. You're sharing your desktop, are you?
Oh, okay. Let me get back to the thing.
Click
where
on the
did that
Zoom
music
button.
go? Okay, got it. Yeah. Okay. Now in the music. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, we are set. Okay, let's begin. Okay, children and teachers and my good old buddies. What you need to do is you need to be very relaxed, and I don't know exactly, you may be sitting on a chair, you may be sitting on your couch, you may be on a bed, you may be even standing, whatever you are, be very firmly, don't be moving around and shake. Relaxed but firm. Relaxed but firm. And ensure that your spine, right from your spinal column, right from your tailbone, all the way up to your skull, up to the cranium, it is aligned. It's in a straight line. Your spine should be straight, and your ears, to ensure that your neck should not be too much inclined forward or back. Your neck should be directly above your ears. Your ears should be directly above your neck. Please make your ears directly above your neck. That ensures your spine is straight. It is like in assembly or Republic Day, you are in attention position. Not stiff, but just alert. You're alert for inputting. Okay, now we have got this is known as posture correction. You are relaxed but firm. Your spinal column is straight. Your ears are directly above your shoulders. Very good. Please, for a few minutes only, shut your eyes. I request you to shut your eyes. Shut your eyes. Just shutting up the eyes helps you to remove any external distraction that may be in front of you. Just shut your eyes. Okay. Now we are going to take 3 deep breaths in and out. I will tell you when. And when you are breathing in, when you are breathing and doing these activities, I'm not going to talk. If I talk, it will spoil the effect. I'm just giving you preliminary what you're supposed to do. When you breathe in, you have to make an imagery. You are taking in all the positive confidence, self-confidence. You are taking in self-confidence inside your lungs and rest of your body. When you are breathing out, you are breathing out all the negativity, all the toxins, emotional toxins, and lack of self-esteem, and anything negative you may have, you are going to breathe out. Okay, now I'm not going to talk for the next 3 breaths. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out 3 times. Begin. I took in 3 deep breaths and I took out 3 deep breaths. Very nice. Now, having come to this relaxed state, your eyes are shut, your posture is in a very alert and relaxed state. Now you have to make a powerful mental imagery. I will give you some instructions, and then I leave it to you. When you are forming that imaginary, imagery, that visualization, and if I keep talking, it will spoil the effect. I will leave it to you, but I will give you what the instructions are. The instructions are: you form a visualization, a mental imagery that you are in a lovely open green, surrounded by greenery. You're sitting on a grass. You are under a tree. Your back is resting comfortably against a nice tree. The weather is perfect. The perfect sunlight. A breeze is blowing, and the breeze is carrying a wonderful aroma of the flowers nearby. And there are some nice apple trees, and there is a lake also nearby. It's a perfect setting to be relaxed and alert. And what's more, on your lap or next to you is a notebook, a foolscape notebook or a diary, whatever is dear to you, something that is very close to your heart, which is you received as a gift for someone very dear to you. And you have a nice pen, gel pen or a fountain pen or a roller ball pen or a sketch pen or a permanent marker or whatever you are happy with, or a chalk or whatever you're happy with. Pen you are holding with your hand, the notebook is next to you, and you are in this setting that I have described. You are to open the notebook and write your affirmation. Okay, but first get into this visualization. Then I will tell you the writing of what you should write on the notebook. I will give you 1 minute's time. 1 minute's time is more than sufficient. But please, I will give you the timing. I'll tell you start. Engage all your 5 senses: your ears, your sense of touch, your eyes, your sense of taste, the tongue, and your nose. Everything should be engaged in a very vivid manner. Your time starts now. 1 minute. I have a clock in front of me. Begin this imagery. It is for your benefit. Open the page of your notebook, the nice notebook next to you. Comfortably hold your pen and begin writing slowly but firmly the sentence. I believe I can write daily. I believe I can write daily with confidence and enthusiasm and full of energy. I believe I can write every day, daily, with confidence, enthusiasm, and full of liveliness, with full of energy. You write this sentence, full stop. Put your pen down and gradually come out of this visualization, come out of this imagery, slowly. Come back to Nagaon, come back to your room, come back in front of your smartphone and your laptop. Okay. Thank you very much. Yes. So that was. And this, by the way, I just gave you a little prototype demo. This is performed on a daily basis by, as I said, Michael Phelps, cricket players, tennis players, film actors, all these gymnasts, and anyone who wants to have to do high level skills, have to perform mountaineering, people who go for mountaineering and who have to perform very high level demanding skills. So if you, anyway, I'm just telling you, this resource is available to you to harness the power of your mind, to harness the power of visualization. Okay, now let me take a quick feedback. Let me take a quick feedback. You can write on the chat. You can write this on the chat. Let me ask you 1 or 2 questions, just to help me also to understand. Did you feel relaxed? Did you feel relaxed with this activity? Just simply
Yes,
type
sir.
yes.
Yes, sir.
You may tell me, or you may write it as you wish. As you
Yes,
wish.
sir.
Yes,
Aviru,
sir.
thank you. You felt relaxed. Very nice.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
happy to. That is the most important. I felt relaxed. And did you feel a sense of calmness?
Yes, sir.
Could you feel a sense of calmness? Okay.
Yes,
The
sir.
relaxed and some calmness. And did you feel? Did you feel that you were ready? You were ready to launch a new activity. You were ready. You were focused. You were focused to launch a new activity. Were you, from your
Sure, sir.
inside,
Yes,
did you
sir.
feel that? Did you feel that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. Now I'm also looking up the chat. Looking up the chat. Yes. Okay. Okay. Yes. This is it's a standard practice. It's a standard practice from a long time, from centuries actually, and in my school, I and some other teachers, we do it to calm, especially the teenage, you can, especially in the afternoon time, you can get quite restless, you can get quite restless. This helps to bring back some focus. Okay, great. Thank you so much for that.
Sudipta,
Yeah, tell me. Yeah.
Pritam here. How long are we supposed to do it? Here we did it very quickly. What
Yes.
is the general practice?
Okay, let me tell you, there is no absolute fixed time. You can, in keeping with our theme of tiny habits, you can even begin with a 2-minute session. And it can even go up to 20 minutes or half an hour. Our Michael Phelps and these kind of people do it for 20-25 minutes every morning when they get up. It's become like a habit. It's become like a routine. But for when we are launching this, I would say don't go more than 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And then anything else on this? Then I'll go to the last few slides.
Mustafa has raised his hand.
Mustafa has raised his hand. Mustafa, go ahead.
Yeah, Sudhir, can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly.
Okay. My question is simple. It's very simple. The thing is that you said that laws of the athletes and players activity, right?
Yeah.
I want to know when, after they are doing, before doing the training, after doing the training, when they do.
Okay. I'll specifically tell you about Michael Phelps. He's the one I'm familiar with. Michael Phelps, his history was he had very low to begin with. He had some low self-esteem, low confidence, although he had skills. So to match up his level from his to bring about an alignment between his inner world and outside world, he started practicing in a tiny habit. Then he got down to doing this. I believe when he wakes up in the morning, because this is his main, especially he's a gold medalist Olympics. He has to perform at the highest level, at world level, highest level. When he wakes up in the morning, he does this visualization. I'm talking about Michael Phelps. Other top performers may have different logistics behind it. but Michael Phelps himself has spoken about it, so I can speak with confidence about this.
But
Got it,
also
Mustafa?
Mustafa, I would say also that since this is a way of priming your brain to perform, it would be ideal to do it before you do the performance than after. You see, you're already priming your brain. So if you do it after, you've already done a performance which has not been primed. So I would say logically, it perhaps would be ideal to do it before than after. From my readings and visualization and imagery. By the way, Sudipta, Drishti has her hand up. Shrishti.
Shrishti, go ahead.
So, sir, I would like to ask that this activity which we did now was really very relaxing, but I would like to ask that if we do it on daily basis, will it help to overcome certain sentiments and emotions?
Please.
Like doing it with it for
Please
half
do
an
it on
hour
daily.
regularly.
Please, I will advise you, don't do it for half an hour. Why I'm telling you don't do it for half an hour? Today you did it, tomorrow you did it, day after tomorrow something urgent came, you forgot to do it. And that's bad. Rather, you start doing it in small, tiny time frame. 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Do it for a short time to start with. At least the posture correction, the breathing, the deep breathing in, breathing out, and just practice something tiny mental imagery for a short while. Start with this and let it compound. Let it compound. Let it become like a snowball. The snowball picks up velocity, picks up mass as it rolls down. Velocity and mass. Okay? And Shrishti, you tried it out.
The teacher Renu Das has her hand up.
Please, madam. Yes, madam.
Yes, Renu, please speak. Renu, you're muted,
Renu.
perhaps.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear
Hello,
you.
can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear
Hello?
you. Very clearly, I can hear you. Yes.
I hear you, Renu.
No, you are muted now, Renu. Please unmute yourself.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Can you hear me, sir? Now?
Very clearly. Very
Hello,
clearly.
sir.
Something is happening. She can't seem to hear us. Renu, please speak.
You're muting
Hello,
yourself.
sir. Can you hear me?
Yes.
There's a problem. She doesn't seem to hear us. No, she doesn't seem to hear us.
Something wrong with the phone, I think.
Let's put a chat, or if someone has her WhatsApp number, can please call her and tell her.
Okay. Okay. Till then, we'll we proceed.
Yeah. Just this thing, Sudipta. After some time, please look at your chat in a few seconds. Yeah. Carry on in the meanwhile. Carry on in the meanwhile.
Okay. I should look up my chat.
Not now. Say in a minute's time. Yeah.
Okay. Fine now. Okay. Now what I want to do. Okay. We have done this. Am I on? Yeah, I'm on share. I'm back on share. Yeah, we had this. Yeah, correct. We did this visualization. We received feedback. Okay, now let's go to this. All right, quickly, just a few more minutes, and we are through power of habits. Okay. Okay. Any one of you can unmute. Any one of you can unmute who has not spoken today. Someone who has not spoken.
Can I?
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
Habits are who you are.
Sudipta, change the slide. You changed the slide.
Oh, wait. I changed the slide. Wait. It went somewhere else. Yeah. Wait. Yeah, here I am.
Habits are who you are. You can change your habits. Good habits allow you to reach your goals.
Yes.
Habits set a foundation for life. Habits can replace.
Just don't feel like. That's important. If I get into developing a tiny habit, even if my mood is kharab, right now my mood is bad, But because it's a tiny habit occupying only 30 seconds, occupying only a minute, bad mood or good mood, or if I'm not, whatever it may be, I can easily adopt it. Okay, next one. See this. See, look at this. Success is like an iceberg. We only see the top portion of the iceberg. Remember Titanic, and the real stuff, all the mal is under the sea. All the main part is under the sea. All these things that go on, sacrifice, tears, staying healthy, growth mindset, good habits, disappointments, persistence, time management, rejections, sleepless nights, meeting targets, focus, expenses, determination, daily goals. What is seen is achieved only after going through what is hidden. And most of our habit building, the tiny habit building activities are mostly unseen. Does not matter. Don't wait for people to give you clap. But inside you are growing. One day, medal, cups, certificates, badges will come to you. But it will not come out of the blue. No miracle. There is no miracle on the highway to success. This is the miracle. The miracle is below the sea level. This comes as the outcome. This is the outcome. Okay. And then all right.
Sudipta, just a
yes.
minute. Renu is back online, so I'll ask her. Renu, can you ask what you wanted to ask, please, now? Renu, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello.
Yes.
We can hear you.
Sir, I want to ask you when our subconscious mind is active, morning or evening time, sir? Bed or as soon as we are from the bed?
Okay, good question. We have a conscious mind, a subconscious mind. Okay, let me tell you, subconscious mind is always on. It is my computer clock. Whether my computer is running or I have logged out or whatever state, I have put it on temporary shutdown or sleep mode, but the clock is always running in the background. You understand? This is the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is even when I'm sleeping, the subconscious mind out there. But my active mind is involved with my thoughts and attention. Very good question. Subconscious mind. And this visualization is actually penetrating my subconscious mind. It is coming to that. Okay. And yeah, talking about good. Renu has given us a good lead. In our subconscious mind, we have to go through this. This is the fellow. I won't do it. I cannot do it. I want to do it. How do I do it? I will try to do it. I can do it. I will do it. Yes, I did it. So, which step have you reached today? The step you are in is in your hands. It is in your hands, not in any external. And start by one small step at a time, a tiny habit. Okay.
And just to share the power of the visualization.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, Renu. I want to do it stage, but after the visualization, which I will repeat today, I have jumped to, I'll try to do it. In fact, I've almost reached, I can do it. I'm almost there. I just need to do the visualization a little more rather than this half a minute we did, 2-3 minutes.
Yes.
So thank you, Sudipta.
Thank you, Pritam. That was a very valuable.
Debraj wanted to say something. Yeah.
Debraj, go ahead.
Just on this visualization thing.
Debraj.
I have a cousin.
There is a gap between the volume.
1 second.
Debraj. Volume issue.
Okay. 1 minute. Okay. Oh God. Oh no.
Devraj, are you in front of a laptop or in front of your cell phone?
Just a minute. Both actually. I have a problem. I have a phone that doesn't have a jack. So just a minute. I'll be on just now.
Okay. Okay. Can
now-
I go ahead till you? Can I go ahead till?
Can you hear me now? You can hear me now, I think.
Yeah, I can hear you. A little bit straining, but I can hear you.
Okay. So what I'm trying to say is that I have a cousin who about 10, 12 years back migrated from the Gulf to Canada. She became single and she had a child, and she and the child emigrated to Canada. And she found work as a communications officer in the Brampton City Council, which is in Toronto. And then she was financially constrained. She had a good life in the Gulf, but in Canada, she was financially constrained because she did not have, the kind of commensurate job that she had earlier. But she set herself some goals, and she is a visualizer. She visualizes what she will do in the future, and she reinforces that visualization through very simple strategies. In her case, in her work desk in office, she put the photograph of a BMW, and on it wrote a date. The date was, I think, 2 or 3 years later. And every time she would sit down to work at her office, she would look at BMW and she would look at that date. That is to herself, and she's visually reinforcing that goal by that photograph. Her method, and that is not desire a BMW. Way of doing it, but this was her way of visualizing. So suppose you know the mark sheet in class 12, that mark sheet you get about 95% in each subject. So it's just a simulated mark sheet. It's not a real mark sheet. And you put that mark sheet on your desktop. And every day you look at the mark sheet, say that after class 12, these are the marks I will get. It's a very positive reinforcement tool. That's what I wanted to say.
Right. Thank you. Thanks so much. That was wonderful. Okay. Now, all right. Now, all right. Now, before I wind up, Leslie.
Yes.
Leslie. Hi, Leslie.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Leslie. See, I see one humble request I have. If the teachers and students, if they can write a little feedback on how our today's days cultivating good habits, how this workshop was, a frank feedback, what were the good points, what things could be improved. That will be a great help for me.
What I can do is, I can all ask them to give me their feedback, and I can mail it to you.
What did you say the last part?
They will give it to me.
Yes.
Today or tomorrow.
Yes.
And I'll mail it to you.
Yes, sure. Perfect. With their name and class.
Okay. Yes.
And teachers if they are giving which subject they are teaching. That would be a.
Okay.
I'll be very.
Is that okay with them?
Yeah. Okay. And all right. So with this, let us come to the end of this workshop. So thank you again. Thank you
Can I just
to
ask you one thing?
Leslie. Thank you to Pritam. Thank you to all the wonderful teachers and students of Loyola High School, Nagaon, for giving me this opportunity. It was my honor, my pleasure to make this presentation, and thank you. I'm
Sir,
going
can I ask you one thing?
Yeah, sure.
Sir, actually, I need a tip for me. So usually, I have a problem.
Yeah. Okay, Srishti, go ahead. Yeah.
So I would like to state that many people have many kinds of bad habits. It can be anything. So usually I have a bad habit of speaking a lot. Sometimes I just cross a limit, and I love speaking a lot. But that is a bad habit of mine, and many a times I tried to overcome it by reading books, by meditating. But still, there are some problems. I'm not able to get rid of it. Every time I just keep speaking.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Pritam, do you anyone needs to leave? You're welcome. You can.
No.
I think yeah. Yeah. Anybody has any other activity to do? You may have to attend to lunch or whatever. You are welcome to leave now. See, officially this workshop is over, but I will stay on. I will stay on. If some of you have some more questions to ask or something, I'll be most happy to stay on. But no one should feel obliged that you should continue. You may leave.
Yes. What were you saying, Leslie?
Papu, give me a minute.
Yeah.
Before they leave.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Asifur, are you there? Asifur?
Yes,
he's there.
Hey, Asifur, on behalf of the teachers and students, would you like to say a few words to Sudipta?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. And I would like to thank our host, Pritam, sir, for facilitating this conversation. It was a great conversation. And thank you, our main speaker, resource person, Sudipta, sir, for giving us very helpful tips and, enlightening us as to how we should go and visualize life, not the way whatever we think is something different from what the reality is. So I would like to thank Leslie sir also for this entire session today. I think it was a fruitful session for everyone, and we got to learn something unusual from Sudipta sir. So thank you everyone on behalf of Loyola School. I would like to thank everyone for joining, especially Sudipta sir. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Asifur sir. Most welcome, Asifur sir.
So you were responding to Shrishti, Sudipta?
Yeah. Okay. I'll continue. I'll continue. I'm here. And is that okay, Pritam? I mean,
yeah, it's very much okay. Since I may leave now, which I don't want to, before you respond to Shrishti, I'd just like to take a word and say how brilliant this session was for me. I don't know how others think. It was so brilliant because for me, it was not merely about changing habits through the power of visualization. The message I got, Sudipta, from this is how you can create your own reality through such visualization. So a lot of our reality is in our hands. So that is what you said, being proactive. It is not just taking responsibility for our lives, the answer that I gave, but taking responsibility to create the future that we want. That doesn't mean that we can create the entire future. But by these means, especially of this powerful technique of visualization that Sudipta, you taught me so well. I have done it before, but today was so effective in half a minute for me. I felt I can create so much of my reality tomorrow by doing that. So thank you so much for, motivating me to do it, Sudipta. I'm so glad I participated in the session, but I will not take up more of your time. Normally, the speaker, principal, and I, we sit together for some feedback. Since I'm going, I request Leslie and Sudipta if we could sit together later in the day today.
And Diganto, please.
Diganto, Diganto's first time is coming in. Whoever wants to from our colleagues wants to sit together for a bit of feedback session, I think it will be useful to the speaker and to us. So Leslie, you can organize it later. I'm not sure when I can do it, but we can find a suitable time very soon.
And before everybody leaves, all of you, please, you want to leave in a comment about the whole session. Either you WhatsApp it to me or mail it to me so that I can forward it to Sudipta. He wants a feedback from each and every one of you.